Hi everyone. I'm Aurora from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a new design. Retro Nostalgia series, the Iris Bouquet from Wild Iris Berries. It includes iris flower branches, daisy flower branches, large fern leaf branches, small fern leaf branches, pom-pom flower branches, and fennel flower branches, along with ties. First, make several types of flower branches separately. Once completed, assemble the flower branches together. This bouquet uses self-stripping yarn. Self-stripping yarn has multiple color segments. The starting position color varies. The finished product effect will differ accordingly. Now let's learn how to make the iris flower branch. Each individual branch consists of 3 small petals and 3 large petals, 2 calyxes and 1 leaf. First, crochet each part separately, then assemble them together, except for the calyx. All other parts require wire when crocheting. Here, except for the first 2 rows of large petals, all other parts are crocheted with self-stripping yarn. When crocheting, the colors of small and large petals can be picked selectively, meaning the colors should not be too similar. For calyxes and leaves, try to choose green color segments. In practice, you can also choose suitable color segments based on your preference, or by referring to the finished product. First, crochet the small petals. Begin with a chain stitch. Work back and forth in rows. Several crochet stitches will be applicated. The pattern chart has corresponding markings. I won't go through each example here. Now, let's show. For easier viewing, I'm using cotton yarn for this demonstration. Random color choices. For specific yarn, color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the product detail page and paper instructions. Begin with a foundation chain. After leaving a yarn tail, make a slip knot with the yarn. This starting knot doesn't count as one stitch. Slightly tighten it. Chain 15 stitches next. Check the stitch count after completing. The loop on the hook isn't included. This completes the casting on. Now work row 1. Make 1 beginning chain as the turning chain for single crochet, which doesn't count as one stitch. Next, work into the last stitch of the foundation chain, which is the second chain from the hook. Pick up 1 strand on the top of the chain. Work 1 single crochet. Pull out the wire while crocheting. Refer to the pattern for the exact wire length. Place the wire over your hook and wrap it while crocheting. Continue picking up 1 strand on the top of the chain to the left. Work 4 single crochets correspondingly. Next, work 1/2 double crochet. 1/2 double crochet 2 in 1. That is, work 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. Completed a HDC 2 in 1. Next, work 2 half double crochets. 1/2 double crochet 2 in 1. 2 double crochets. 1 double crochet 2 in 1. That is, work 2 double crochets into the same stitch. 1 double crochet. Then work 1 DC 3 in 1. That is, work 3 double crochets into the same stitch. Completed a DC 3 in 1. Fold the wire ends roughly in half. Adjust the position of the wire. After rotating the piece, pick up the remaining 2 strands of the foundation chain to the left. that is, the stitch position below. Continue to work correspondingly. Remember to weave the wire and yarn tails into stitches. Refer to the chart to finish this row. At this point, row 1 is completed. The starting tail has been woven in for a distance. Cut it directly. Now work row 2. Chain 1. Correspond to the stitch below. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Skip this stitch. Make 1 slip stitch in the next stitch. The oval-shaped slip stitch in the diagram indicates not to pull too tight. Continue to make 6 slip stitches correspondingly. After completing, pick up stitches to work single crochets. Then chain 1 space. Continue to pick up stitches, and work 1 single crochet, 1 chain space. Next, pick up each stitch. Make 1 single crochet in each, chain 1 space between every 2 single crochets. Follow this pattern. Keep working until the previous row, 8 stitches remaining. After completing, make loose slip stitches to the left correspondingly. Then chain 1 to secure. Leave a yarn tail and fasten off. This completes 1 small petal. Now the back side of the small petal is facing us. The other side is the front side of the small petal. Next, if you need to pick colors to crochet small petals in other colors, you can first wind the current color yarn into a small skein, wind to the next color and fasten off for later use. Then continue crocheting with the new color. You can also crochet large petals first. Crochet large petals before moving to the next color for small petals. Choose according to actual needs. Now let's crochet large petals. Use foundation chain to start. Work back and forth. New stitch techniques used include 3 single crochets into the same stitch. Single crochet increase. Next, please watch the demonstration. First, make a foundation chain of 20 chains. I've already crocheted here. Then crochet row 1. Make 1 beginning chain. Does not count as a stitch? Start from the second chain from the hook. Work into each stitch above 1 by 1. Work single crochets. Pull out the wire while crocheting. Refer to the chart for the specific length of wire. Place the wire above the crochet hook and wrap it while crocheting. Continue working single crochets. Keep going until 1 stitch remains in the starting chain. After completing, make 3 single crochets in the same stitch. That means working 3 single crochets in one position. Completed 3 single crochets in one stitch. Fold both ends of the wire roughly in half. Adjust the position of the wire. Then rotate the piece. Continue picking up the other 2 strands. Work single crochets evenly. Remember to wrap the wire and yarn tails. Keep crocheting all the way down this row. After completing, secure the yarn and fasten off. Chain 1 to secure. Leave a yarn tail and cut the yarn. Row 1 is completed. Now the side facing us is the right side of the piece. The texture is clear. Next, crochet row 2. Pick up the required yarn. Leave a yarn tail and make a slip knot. Next, join the yarn at the 10th stitch of row 1. Insert the hook and draw up a loop. Adjust the size of the loop. Now the yarn is joined. Then chain 1. Work single crochets to the left. Half double crochets. Continue following the pattern chart. Work all the way down to the last single crochet. After completing, work a loose slip stitch to the left. Then secure the yarn and break the yarn. Now row 2 is completed. Next, work row 3. Find the first stitch of row 1. Pick up the corresponding yarn and join it there. Make 1 beginning chain. Then work 9 single crochets evenly. While crocheting, weave in the yarn tail as you go. After completing, the left side is row 2. Skip the chain stitch. Insert the hook into the single crochet stitch and work a single crochet increase. That is, work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Single crochet increase completed. Continue to follow the pattern chart below. Work the last half double crochet of this row. After completing, work another single crochet increase. Then skip the slip stitch on the left side. Continue crocheting on row 1 for the next stitch. Work single crochets into each stitch accordingly. Complete this row. Row 3 is now completed. Then work row 4. Make 1 beginning chain. Turn the work counterclockwise. Follow the pattern chart to complete this row. Note: when reaching the single crochet increase position from the previous row, skip the adjacent half double crochet. If you can't find the position, turn to the right side. Confirm the position before continuing to crochet. Similarly, skip the symmetrical half double crochet on the other side. Continue working this row all the way down. Row 4 is now completed. Move on to work row 5. Chain 1. After turning, skip 1 stitch. Start working loose slip stitches into each stitch accordingly without tightening. Continue until the first double crochet stitch on the left side. Now you've reached the corresponding position. Continue working 1 single crochet into each stitch. Follow the pattern of 1 chain between every 2 single crochets. Keep going until there's 1 double crochet stitch left from the previous row. After completing, work loose slip stitches into each stitch accordingly. Finish this row completely. Leave a yarn tail of about 15 centimeters before cutting the yarn. Row 5 is now completed, so 1 large petal is done. If you need to change colors for the large petals, similarly, switch to the next color and continue crocheting. You can also alternate with small petals. Keep crocheting down to achieve the desired size of petals. Now let's learn how to make the calyx. Start with a foundation chain. Work back and forth in rows. No new stitch techniques are used. Now, let's show. First, make a foundation chain and complete row 1 by following the chart. This is the completed swatch. Continue crocheting row 2. Make 3 chains as beginning chain, as the turning chains for the double crochet correspond to the stitch below. After turning the work, work 5 double crochets to the left. 2 half double crochets and 1 single crochet. Then rotate the piece. Pick up any 2 threads from the edge of the first row side. Work 3 single crochets into 1 stitch. Continue rotating the piece. Pick up the stitch where the previous single crochet was crocheted into. Start referring to the pattern and work all the way down to the last double crochet. Skip the first stitch on the left side. Pick up the next stitch to begin crocheting. After completing, work 3 chains. Pick up the stitch below. Work 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. Secure the yarn and fasten off. The calyx is now completed. Continue working the required number of calyxes downward. Next, learn how to make leaves. Begin with a foundation chain. Crochet counterclockwise. No new stitch techniques are used. The new technique used is carrying the yarn across. Please watch the demonstration. First, begin with a chain stitch. This is the small sample after completing the work, with fewer stitches. Now work on row 1. Make 1 beginning chain, then refer to the chart. Continue all the way down to the last single crochet of row 1. As you crochet, take out the required length of wire. Fold in half. Treat the folded wire as 1 strand. Crochet while weaving the wire into the stitches. After completing, continue to insert into the last stitch. Work a loose slip stitch, not tightened. Row 1 is complete. For the next row, adjust the starting position. To minimize joining yarn, use the carrying yarn technique here. Stretch the loop and thread it through the yarn ball or fabric piece. Tighten the yarn tail. Keep the right side facing us. Insert into the second stitch of row 1. Draw the yarn through. On the wrong side, this yarn should be level with the fabric. The yarn tail has transitioned to the corresponding position. Continue working row 2. Chain 1. Work single crochets to the left. Continue until one stitch remains before the left side 3 SC in 1. Now you've reached the corresponding position. Work 3 slip stitches. Chain 2. Continue working slip stitch into the same stitch from the previous row. Work 1 slip stitch. Work 2 slip stitches to the left. Then work single crochets evenly into each stitch. Continue until the last half double crochet on the left side. After completing, work 2 slip stitches. Leave a tail of about 15 centimeters and cut the yarn. Now the leaf is completed. Next, learn the assembly. Take out 3 small petals. Place the right side inside, meaning the side with slip stitch marks should be on the outside. Wrap the flower stem. You can adjust the length of the flower stem as needed. If it's too long, trim off some distance. Position the 3 small petals in a triangular formation. They can overlap each other slightly. Then take out the thread from the leaf. Wrap them together. You can apply a little glue at the base. Secure the yarn tail. Wrap and secure the base of the small petals. Note: the height of the wrapping below shouldn't be too high. Try not to expose the flower stem in the middle. Remember to tighten while wrapping. Wrap it more tightly. Leave a yarn tail and fasten off. Tie a knot to secure. The small petals are now secured to the flower stem. Continue with the large petals. Thread the reserved yarn tail onto a sewing needle. The large petals wrap around the small petals. and staggered with the 3 small petals in the middle. Position the large petals based on the small petals as reference. You can adjust according to the actual project or by yourself. Next, use the sewing needle to sew a certain distance at the base. Securely sew both sides using any method. Check the effect before sewing. Sew after confirming the shape. The height of the bottom seam can also be adjusted. Weave in ends and fasten off yarn after reaching the proper position. Continue with the remaining 2 large petals. Place the right side inside. Also staggered with the small petals in the middle. Roughly confirm the position first. Continue sewing. When sewing the last petal, sew more tightly. This is what it looks like after sewing all large petals. Tidy up the yarn tails underneath. Continue with the leaf yarn. Wrap the yarn below. Make the wrapping thicker at the top. Gradually thinner toward the bottom. Then take the calyx. Place the wrong side outward. Wrap the bottom around the stem. Continue wrapping to secure. After wrapping a distance, continue with another calyx. Place the wrong side outward. Position it opposite to the previous calyx. Continue wrapping around the stem. Wrap the yarn below. From the bottom edge of the calyx downward about 14 centimeters. Add the leaf. Adjust the position as needed. Place the leaf with wrong side outward. Leave the yarn tails unwrapped. Continue wrapping above. When there's a little distance left, take out the alcohol glue. Apply a small amount at the end. Secure the yarn tail position. Leave a yarn tail and fasten off. Trim excess tail. Press for a while to secure it more firmly. Now pick up the leaf's yarn tail. Thread through the needle. Continue sewing the leaf end for about 4 centimeters height. Pick up stitches on both sides and sew together using any method. After sewing, weave in ends and fasten off. This way the leaf is settled. Then tidy up the shape of each part of the flower branch. Up to this point, the iris flower branch is finished. Next, let's learn the large fern leaf flower branch. A single flower branch consists of fern leaves 1 to 5, and one primary branch. Each fern leaf is crocheted twice. Both fern leaves and primary branch in the flower branch need to have wire added. The large fern leaf flower branch is crocheted using color segments, since the primary branch needs to be crocheted last. When crocheting the large fern leaf flower branch, you can crochet in the order from bottom to top. In practice, you can also choose suitable color segments based on preference or refer to the finished product. Choose suitable color segments for crocheting. First, let's look at fern leaves 1 to 5. The crochet methods for these fern leaves are roughly the same. Only the number of starting chains and some stitches in row 1 differ slightly. All use chain cast on. Crochet counterclockwise. Multiple stitch techniques are used. The charts have corresponding annotations. I won't list them all here. For convenient watching, I'm demonstrating with cotton yarn here. Random colors. For specific yarn, color scheme and hook size, refer to the detail page of our product and paper instructions. Let's start crocheting fern leaf 1. Begin with a foundation chain. Leave a yarn tail and make a slip knot. This starting knot doesn't count as one stitch. Gently tighten. Chain 23 stitches. Check the stitch count after completing. The loop on the hook is not included. This completes the casting on. Now let's crochet row 1. Make 3 chains to start. Counts as 1 double crochet, corresponds to the first stitch of the foundation chain. Continue at this stitch position, which is the 4th stitch from the end. Pick up the chain above the crochet hook and work a double crochet. Take out the wire while crocheting. Refer to the pattern chart for the specific wire length. Place the wire over your hook and wrap it as you crochet. Then work a chain 3 picket. Hereafter referred to as picket stitch. Work 3 chains first. Then pick up the front loop of the next stitch and the left loop. Make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The picket stitch is completed. Next, pick up the chain above to the left. Work 2 double crochets. One picket stitch. Work 3 chains first. Then pick up the front loop of the next stitch and the left loop. Make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The picket stitch is completed. Continue crocheting according to the chart down to the first half double crochet. After completing, work 1 half double crochet. 1 picket stitch. When working picket stitch on half double crochet, similarly pick up only 2 loops to crochet. Continue to follow the pattern chart. Crochet down to the first single crochet. Then work 1 single crochet. One picket stitch. Continue crocheting downward. Crochet until there's only 1 stitch left in the starting chain. After completing, pick up the left chain. Work 3 SC in 1, which means making 3 single crochets into the same stitch. While crocheting, on the second single crochet, work 1 picket stitch. Complete the 3 SC in 1. Meanwhile, the middle picket stitch is completed. Now fold the wire ends roughly in half. Adjust the position of the wire. After rotating the piece, refer to the chart and pick up the remaining 2 strands of the left chain cast on, which is the stitch position for the next row. Continue working the corresponding stitches. Remember to weave the wire and yarn tails into the stitches. Now the last picket stitch is completed. Continue with 3 chain stitches. Then in the stitch position of the last double crochet, make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. At this point, the first row is completed. Then secure the yarn and cut off. Chain 1 to secure. Leave a yarn tail and cut off. The beginning tail of the yarn has been woven in for some distance. You can cut it directly. At this point, fern leaf 1 is completed. Follow this demonstration to make another fern leaf 1. For fern leaf 2 and fern leaf 3 afterward, the crochet method is almost identical to fern leaf 1. Only the first double crochet of each row should be worked into the 5th chain from the end. Finally, make a slip stitch. Work the slip stitch on the left side of the last double crochet. No other special positions encountered. Continue crocheting by referring to previous demonstrations. That's all for fern leaves 1 to 3. Now let's learn fern leaf 4. Chain to begin. My sample has fewer stitches here. After completing, work row 1. Make 1 beginning chain, that does not count as a stitch. Then in the last stitch of the foundation chain, which is the second chain from the hook, pick up the top loop of the chains. Work 1 single crochet. Take out the wire while crocheting. Wrap it together as you work. Continue following the chart to finish this row. The technique was demonstrated in previous fern leaf 1. Fern leaf 5 is almost identical to fern leaf 4. Crochet following the chart accordingly. Next, crochet the primary branches. Start with a chain stitch. This is the completed sample, with fewer stitches. Chain 1 to begin. Work 2 single crochets. Take out the required length of wire while crocheting. Fold in half. Treat the folded wire as one strand and wrap it together as you work. Next, work 2 chains for the small branch on the primary branch. Then work 2 more chains. And make a loose slip stitch in the 3rd stitch from the end. This forms a group of stitches. Repeat this for 4 more groups. Work 4 chains. And make a loose slip stitch in the 3rd stitch from the end. 1 group is completed. Continue to work the remaining 3 groups. After completing, move to the left. The left side is the first chain of the previous group. Pick up the top 2 loops of the chains. Work 1 single crochet. Continue to the left, insert the hook into the slip stitch position, and work 1 single crochet. Then work 1 picket stitch. Starting from this single crochet, consider these stitches as a group. Repeat to work 3 more groups. First, pick up the chain in the middle space. Pick up 2 loops and work 1 single crochet. Then pick up the left slip stitch position, and work 1 single crochet, 1 picket stitch. Continue crocheting downward. After completing, work 1 more single crochet. This small branch is completed. Return to the starting chain stitch. Continue wrapping the wire to the left and work 4 single crochets. Then work another small branch. The technique has been demonstrated previously. Refer to the chart to finish this small branch. After completing, continue back to the starting chain stitch to crochet. Notice the main branch is worked by picking up stitches on one side, while creating small branches on both sides. Continue downward following the previous demonstration. Work until the last chain stitch of the starting chain. After completing, pick up the last stitch and work a single crochet. 1 picket stitch. Then roughly fold the 2 ends of the wire in half. Adjust the position of the wire. Rotate the piece. To the left, pick up the other 2 strands of the starting chain, which is the stitch position below. Continue working correspondingly. First pick up the stitch below and work a single crochet. Continue working to the left. Remember to wrap the wire while crocheting. Keep working down to the corresponding position. Then add the flower stem and continue crocheting. The specific position is marked in the pattern chart. Now you've reached the corresponding position. Take the flower stem and place it above, crocheting while wrapping it together. Pay attention to gently tighten while working. Work down to finish the remaining part. After this, you don't need to break the yarn. Continue using this thread to yarn over. Enlarge the loop and draw through the yarn ball or fabric. Tighten the yarn tail. Then turn to the wrong side of the primary branch. Apply a little glue above the flower stem. Gently pull the flower stem. Make the flower stem covered by the loops. Press for a while to secure it firmly. That's all for the primary branch. Next, let's learn assembly. Here I'll first demonstrate the assembly order using the actual project. The primary branch is on top, from top to bottom. Yarn over in the order of frond 5 to frond 1. When yarn over, note that fronds should be on the same plane as the primary branch. And identical fronds should be symmetrical, spaces should be evenly separated. Below I'll demonstrate the yarn over method using any two fronds. Pick up the primary branch, apply a small amount of glue on the flower stem. Continue using this thread to yarn over above. Pull tight. Make sure the inner flower stem isn't visible. When it reaches the proper distance, add a new frond. Note that the two fronds should be placed symmetrically. Here I'll demonstrate with one frond. Continue yarn over downward. The interval between fronds can be adjusted according to preference. After adding all fronds like this, continue yarn over until the entire flower stem is covered. When there's a short distance left, apply alcohol glue to secure the yarn tail at the end. Press for a while to make it secure. You can cut the yarn tail directly here, or continue upward by wrapping the yarn around the flower stem. Check the actual project. Here it continues wrapping upward, to make the flower stem as evenly thick as possible throughout. After finishing the wrapping, you need to secure the yarn tail. This is the sample after wrapping. Leave a yarn tail and fasten off. Then hide the yarn tail along the wrong side of the fabric. Trim any excess yarn tails. Then tidy up the shape of each part of the flower branch. That's all for the large fern flower branch up to this point. Now let's learn the daisy flower branch. A single flower branch consists of one daisy and two leaves. The daisy is divided into the flower core, calyx and petals. When assembling the daisy in the flower branch, you need to add wire. Add wire when crocheting the leaves. First, crochet the flower core and calyx in the daisy. These two parts use the same crochet technique but with different colors. Both are crocheted in rounds counterclockwise starting with a magic ring. The stitches used include chain, single crochet, slip stitch and single crochet increase. Now, let's show. For easier viewing, I'll demonstrate using cotton yarn here. Random colors. For specific yarn, color scheme and hook size, refer to the product details page and paper instructions. Start with a magic ring. Complete R1. Make one beginning chain, as the turning chain for single crochet, not counted as a stitch. Then in the magic ring loop, work 6 single crochets. Tighten the magic ring loop after completion. Then slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. Now the first round is complete. Now the right side of the piece is facing us. Next, crochet round 2. Make one beginning chain not counted as a stitch. Then make a single crochet increase, which means work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. When crocheting, place the beginning yarn tail above the hook to secure it together. Single crochet increase completed. Next, work 5 single crochet increases correspondingly. After completing, slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. Round 2 is complete. Then secure the yarn and break yarn. Crochet a chain stitch to secure. Leave a yarn tail, then cut the yarn. Tighten the tail. Now the yarn tail is settled. The beginning yarn tail has been worked into the round. You can cut it directly. Now the crochet method for the flower core and calyx is finished. Following this demonstration, refer to the chart to crochet the corresponding flower core and calyx. Next, crochet the petals. After combining the flower core and calyx together, crochet in rounds on top. The new stitch technique used is half double crochet. Now, let's show. Pick up one flower core and one calyx. Place them with the wrong side up. Place the flower core on top. Put all yarn tails in the middle position. Next, pick up these 2 pieces with the hook. Join the yarn at any corresponding stitch. Pick up the yarn for the petals. Leave a yarn tail and make a slip knot. After drawing the loop through, gently tighten the yarn tail. Now the yarn is joined. Next, work 7 chain stitches. Then insert the hook into the top strand of the 3rd chain from the hook. Work 1 half double crochet. Continue to the left and work 1 half double crochet, 1 single crochet and 1 slip stitch. The oval shaped slip stitches in the chart indicate not to tighten. After completing, continue to the left, pick up the chain and work a tightened slip stitch. Next, insert the hook into the next stitch of both layers to the left. Work a loose slip stitch. Foundation chain 6 stitches. Starting from the 3rd chain from the hook, pick up the chain above 1 thread, work 2 half double crochets. 1 single crochet. 1 loose slip stitch. Next, pick up any 2 threads below the slip stitch. Work 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. After completing, take a look. Consider the part worked on the 2nd stitch as a group. This round is to repeat working such a group. Except for the last stitch of the round, where you work 2 groups in the same stitch. All others pick up corresponding stitches on both layers of fabric and work 1 group accordingly. Continue crocheting this round by following the demonstration here. When almost done, tuck all yarn tails between the 2 layers of fabric. Continue crocheting downward. Once completed, simply secure the yarn and cut the yarn. Finally, thread the yarn tail onto a yarn needle. You can slightly sew and secure the beginning and ending positions. Then hide the remaining yarn tails inside. Now the petals are done. Next, take out the wire. Refer to the chart for the exact length. Thread the wire through the first round of the calyx. You can use a crochet hook to help. Fold it in half and set aside. The daisy is complete. Now crochet the leaves. Start with a chain stitch. Crochet counterclockwise. The new stitch technique used is 3 single crochets in 1 stitch. Single crochet decrease. Picket of 2 chains. The new method used is carrying the yarn across. Please watch the demonstration. Begin with a foundation chain. Leave a yarn tail and make a slip knot. This starting knot doesn't count as 1 stitch. Gently tighten. Next, chain 10. After completing, check the stitch count. The loop on the hook is not included. This completes the casting on. Now crochet row 1. Chain 1 as beginning chain doesn't count as a stitch. Next, in the last stitch of the foundation chain, which is the second chain from the hook, pick up the top loop of the chain. Work 1 single crochet. When crocheting, take out the wire. Refer to the pattern for the exact wire length. Place the wire above the hook and wrap it while crocheting. Continue picking up the top loop of the chain to the left. Work 8 single crochets correspondingly. Next, work 3 single crochets into the same stitch. That means working 3 single crochets in one position. Completed 3 single crochets in one stitch, then fold both ends of the wire in half roughly. Adjust the position of the wire. After rotating the piece, pick up the remaining 2 loops of the foundation chain to the left. That is the stitch position for the next row. Continue working single crochets correspondingly. Wrap the yarn tail and wire while crocheting. After completing, pick the last stitch position. Then work 1 loose slip stitch. Row 1 is done. For the next row, adjust the starting position. To minimize joining yarn, use the carrying yarn technique here. Stretch the loop through the yarn ball or fabric piece. Tighten the yarn tail. With the right side facing us. Insert into the first stitch of the first row. Draw the yarn through. Don't pull the back strand too tight. This transitions the yarn tail to the corresponding position. Continue working row 2. Chain 1. Work single crochet decreases to the left. The technique is to work 2 incomplete single crochets first. Yarn over and draw through. The incomplete single crochet is completed. Work another stitch. Insert, yarn over and draw through. Now you have 2 incomplete single crochets on your hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook in once. Single crochet decrease completed. Then work a chain 1 picket stitch, hereafter referred to as picket stitch. Start with 2 chain stitches. Then pick up the front loop of the next stitch and the 2 left side loops. Make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The picket stitch is completed. Continue to the left with a loose slip stitch. Check it out. Check it out. The completed single crochet decrease forms a group. 1 single crochet decrease. First work 2 incomplete single crochets. Then yarn over and draw through the remaining loops in once. Single crochet decrease completed. Work another picket stitch. Start with 2 chain stitches. Then pick up the front loop and 2 left side loops of the next stitch. Make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The picket stitch is completed. Work 1 loose slip stitch to the left. This completes another group. Continue to work 1 more group. After completing, work 1 loose slip stitch to the left. 2 chain stitches. Continue at the insertion point of the previous slip stitch. Crochet 1 loose slip stitch. Then work 1 slip stitch to the left. Follow the same pattern as the previous group to work 3 more groups. Then leave a yarn tail of about 15 centimeters and cut the yarn. Pull the yarn through directly. The starting tail has been secured for a sufficient length and can be cut off. At this point, the leaf is completed. Next, learn the assembly. Pick up the leaf. Apply a small amount of glue to the end of the wire. Then wrap the yarn tail around it several times. Pay attention to wrap it tightly so the wire doesn't show. Adjust the wrapping length according to your preference. Then tie a knot to secure it. Trim excess tail. Treat both leaves like this. Next, take out the daisy flowers. Thread the yarn through the darning needle for the calyx. Insert the needle from the center. Stitch a few times on the calyx. Cover the wire marks. Then weave in the end inside. Next, take out the flower stems. You can adjust the length of the flower stems as needed. If it's too long, trim off a certain length. Place the daisy flowers at the top of the flower stems. Apply a small amount of glue on the wire. Continue using this yarn to secure the daisy flowers to the flower stems. Pay attention to pull tight. Wrap it tightly. Make sure the wire and flower stems inside are not visible. Wrap the yarn about 6 centimeters. The exact length can also be adjusted as needed. Take out one leaf. Place it above the flower stem, and wrap the yarn together. The length of wire showing from the leaf here can be adjusted as needed. Continue wrapping downward. The same length can also be adjusted as needed. After wrapping to a proper position, take out another leaf. It can be placed symmetrically with the previous leaf. Continue wrapping above. Keep wrapping downward until the entire flower stem is covered. When there's a little distance left at the end, take out the alcohol glue. Apply a small amount at the end. Secure the yarn tail position. Trim excess tail. Press for a while to secure it more firmly. Then tidy up the shape of each part of the flower branch. Up to this point, the daisy flower branch is finished. Next, learn the small fern leaf flower branch. Begin with a foundation chain. Crochet 1 row counterclockwise. Several crochet stitches will be applicated. The chart has corresponding annotations. I won't go through each example here. Now, let's show. For easier watching, I'm using cotton yarn for this demonstration. Random colors. For specific yarn, color scheme and hook size, refer to the detail page of our product and paper instructions. Begin with a foundation chain. After leaving a yarn tail, make a slip knot. This starting knot doesn't count as one stitch. Slightly tighten. Next, work a foundation chain. Refer to the chart for the exact number of stitches. Check the stitch count after completing. Loops on the hook are not included. This completes the starting chain. Now crochet row 1. Work 3 chains as beginning chain. Count as 1 double crochet, correspond to the first stitch of the foundation chain below. Next, pick up the next stitch to the left, which is the 5th stitch from the end. Pick up the top loop of the chain stitch, and work 1 DC2 in 1, meaning work 2 double crochets in the same stitch. While crocheting, on the first double crochet, work a CH3 picket. First, work 1 double crochet. As you crochet, pull out a length of wire needed. Fold it in half. Treat the folded wire as one strand. Crochet while weaving it into the stitches. Next, work a CH3 picket, hereafter referred to as CH3 picket. First, work 3 chain stitches. Then pick up the front loop and the left side loop of the next stitch. Work 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The CH3 picket is completed. Continue at this double crochet stitch. Work 1 double crochet. The double crochet increase is completed. Pick up the top loop of the chain to the left and work 1 double crochet. Crochet 1 double crochet. After completion, this double crochet increase will look like this. Consider the CH3 picket and 1 double crochet as one group. Work another group. Pick up the chain to the left and pull through for the double crochet increase, and work a CH3 picket on the first double crochet. First, work 3 chains. Then pick up the front loop of the stitch and the left loop. Make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The CH3 picket is completed. Continue to crochet 1 double crochet into the stitch below. Complete the double crochet increase. Work 1 double crochet to the left. Another group is completed. Follow the pattern chart to work the required number of groups. My swatch has fewer starting chains here. The number of groups crocheted is also fewer. Continue to pick up the next stitch, and work a DC2 in 1, and work a CH3 picket in the first stitch. Work 1 half double crochet to the left. Then pick up the next stitch, and work a HDC2 in 1, which means working 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. While crocheting, in the first half double crochet, work a CH3 picket. Similarly, pick up the front loop of the stitch, and the left loop to crochet. In the stitch below, work another half double crochet. Complete the half double crochet increase. Work 1 half double crochet to the left. Pick up the next stitch and work a HDC2 in 1. And in the first half double crochet, work a CH2 picket, hereafter referred to as CH2 picket. First work 2 chains, then pick up the front loop and the left loop. Work 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The CH2 picket is completed. Continue the half double crochet increase. Work 1 half double crochet to the left. Consider these stitches as a group. Refer to the chart and continue working the required number of groups. My sample has fewer groups. Continue working 1 HDC2 in 1 to the left, and work a CH2 picket in the first stitch. Work 1 single crochet to the left. Then work a SC2 in 1. That is, work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. While crocheting, work a CH2 picket on the first single crochet, work a CH2 picket. Then work 1 single crochet, complete the single crochet increase, work 1 single crochet to the left. Consider these stitches as a group. Refer to the chart and continue working the required number of groups. My sample has fewer groups. Continue working 1 SC2 in 1. While crocheting, work a CH1 picket on the first single crochet, work a chain 1 picket, hereafter referred to as CH1 picket. First work 1 chain, then pick up the strand in front, and the strand on the left side, make 1 slip stitch. The slip stitch might be hard to tighten here, not necessary to pull too tight. The CH1 picket is completed. Continue to complete the single crochet increase. Work another single crochet. Consider these stitches as one group. Work another group. Then work slip stitches into each stitch to the left, corresponding one by one. The slip stitches in the oval shape on the pattern chart, not to pull too tight. Continue crocheting down to the first starting stitch. While crocheting, you can wrap the wire around every other stitch. After completing, work 1 chain. Fold the wire ends roughly in half. Adjust the position of the wire. After rotating the piece, pick up the hook into the remaining 2 strands of yarn, that is, the insertion point of the stitch below. Continue working the corresponding stitches, while wrapping the wire and yarn tails. Refer to the chart for specific stitch techniques. You can also refer to the stitch pattern below. The stitches on both sides of the starting chain are symmetrical. Continue crocheting down to the corresponding position, then add the flower stem and continue working. The specific position is marked on the chart. Now I've reached the corresponding position. This is a sample swatch for demonstration. When actually wrapping the flower stem, you can adjust the length of the flower stem wrapping as needed. Pay attention not to wrap it too short, to avoid affecting the finished product's effect. Place the flower stem above. Wrap and crochet together as you go. Leave a little bit exposed at the top. Continue crocheting downward. Try to keep your stitches tight while working here. Crochet all the way down to the last 3 chain stitches. After completing, pick up both strands of the chain stitch below. Make one slip stitch. Pull tight. Row 1 is complete. Now the right side is facing us. You don't need to break the yarn after this. Continue wrapping the yarn with this strand. Stretch the loop and thread it through the yarn ball or fabric piece. Tighten the yarn tail. Turn to the wrong side. The yarn tail from the starting chain has been secured for some distance and can be cut directly. Apply glue to the flower stems exposed at the top. Gently pull the flower stems. Make sure the flower stems are covered by the loops. Press for a while to secure it firmly. Tidy up the fabric piece again. Slightly tighten the wire. Next, take out the alcohol glue. Apply a small amount of glue to the wire underneath the fabric piece. Hold the yarn tail and wrap the yarn over the flower stems and wire. Remember to pull tight to make it snug. Make sure the inner wire and flower stems aren't visible. Continue wrapping all the way down the flower stem. Finally, apply a small amount of glue at the end. Secure the tail. Trim excess tail. Press the end for a while to secure it firmly. Then tidy up the shape, front side facing us. Bend the tip backward. Tidy up the shape. The position of the flower stems can also be bent backward. That's all for the small fern flower branch. Next, let's make the pom-pom flower branch. First, make one pom-pom, then assemble with the flower stems. Below I provide 2 methods for making pom-poms. Choose any method according to your needs. Refer to the chart for pom-pom making specifications. Method for making pom-poms using a pom-pom maker. Common pom-pom makers usually come in 4 sizes. Different sizes produce pom-poms of different sizes. The diameters of the finished pom-poms are 3-5 cm, 5-5 cm, 7 cm, and 9 cm. Choose the appropriate size pom-pom maker, based on the desired pom-pom diameter. Select the pom-pom maker that fits properly. A pom-pom maker consists of 2 halves like this. Open all the buckles on top. Then align the dots and circles here. Divide into 2 arcs. Take the yarn. Wrap the yarn around the arcs. Try to wrap it as evenly as possible. Wrap this side arc until it's mostly full. Or wrap to the desired number of rounds. After finishing one side, change direction and wrap the other side. Wrap this side completely as well. Once wrapping is done, fold in half. Fasten the buckles here. Cut the yarn tails. Cut the yarn through the gap in the middle of the pom-pom maker. Cut the yarn. Do the same on the other side. Next, cut a piece of yarn, about 30 centimeters long. Tie a knot to secure it through the gap in the middle of the pom-pom maker. Pull the yarn tails as tight as possible. Tie another knot on the other side. Tie several knots to secure it firmly. Then release the pom-pom maker. Fluff it up. Trim it with scissors to make it rounder. This is what the pom-pom looks like when completed. How to make a pom-pom using cardboard. Prepare a cardboard strip that's 1 centimeter wider than the desired pom-pom diameter. That means, if the desired pom-pom diameter is 4 centimeter, then the cardboard width should be 5 centimeter. Cut a slit in the middle. Then wrap the yarn around the cardboard. Different number of rounds. The fullness of the pom-pom varies. Adjust according to actual needs and remaining strands. Fasten off the yarn after wrapping. Then cut a piece of same color yarn that's securely fixed. Wrap all the loops. Tie a knot. Thread to the other side and tie another knot. Tie 2 more knots to secure. Then remove the loops from the cardboard. Cut the loops on both ends. Fluff up the pom-pom, then trim it into a ball shape with scissors. This is the method of making a pom-pom using cardboard. You can attach the pom-pom to fabric with a string. This is the completed pom-pom. The color here is not for reference. Take out the flower stem. The length of the flower stem can be adjusted as needed. If it's too long, cut off a section. Continue with the pom-pom. After finding the yarn tail position, try to spread it apart. Apply a little glue inside. Attach the flower stem. Take any color yarn and wrap it around the flower stem. Wrap it around the yarn tail of the pom-pom. Remember to pull tight. Wrap it tightly. Make sure the flower stem inside isn't visible. Continue wrapping all the way down the flower stem. Finally, apply a small amount of glue at the end. Secure the yarn tail. Trim off excess yarn tail. Press for a while to secure it firmly. Then tidy up the pom-pom. This way, the pom-pom flower branch is made. Next, let's make the fennel flower branch. First, make the required number of small flowers, then assemble them with the flower stem. Here I'll demonstrate using any color yarn. Use random colors. For specific yarn, color scheme, refer to the detail page of our product and paper instructions. First, let's make the small flowers. Cut the wire to the required length for later use. Refer to the chart for specific length. Then take the corresponding color yarn. Wrap the yarn 4 rounds around your finger. Cut off excess yarn tail. Take the wire and thread it through the end of the loop without a yarn tail. Fold it in half and twist slightly. Pinch the bottom of the loop, tighten with pliers. Then cut open the loop. Leave a proper height and trim neatly. Then take a darning needle to pick up each strand. Next, take the yarn for small flower stems. Cut to the corresponding length and take one strand. You can take yarn from the middle. After twisting it apart in reverse, take out one strand. Next, pick up the small flower. Apply a small amount of glue at the bottom. Wrap one strand around the top. Pay attention to pull tight and make it snug. Try to keep the wire inside from showing. Continue wrapping down the entire wire. Leave a yarn tail and fasten off. Tie a knot at the bottom. Secure the yarn tail. This is how a small flower is completed. Following this demonstration, make the remaining small flowers. Pay attention to the colors and quantity as per the chart. You can also adjust according to your preference. This is what the completed small flowers look like. Continue taking one strand to assemble them together. You can learn the method first and then adjust based on your preference. Here I take out a few small flowers first. Leave about 4 or 5 centimeters in height and wrap them together. Continue wrapping while adding small flowers. Keep wrapping until all small flowers are done. Keep the height of the top small flowers consistent. Tie off and secure at the end. Once completed, assemble the small flowers with the flower stems. Take out the flower stems. Here you can adjust the length of the flower stems as needed. If too long, trim off a certain distance. Place the small flowers onto the flower stems. No need to separate the strands. Wrap the yarn around the flower stems, and wrap it around the small bouquet. Pay attention to pull tight and wrap tightly. Make sure the wire and flower stems are not exposed. Finally, apply a small amount of alcohol glue at the end. Secure the yarn tail position. Trim off excess yarn tails. Press for a while to secure it firmly. Finally, tidy up the shape. This completes the fennel flower branch. Finally, make the tie strap. Leave about 10 centimeters of yarn tail, and crochet a chain stitch loop. Continue crocheting until you reach the required length. Refer to the chart for the specific length. I'm demonstrating with a small sample here. After completing, crochet one chain stitch to secure. Leave a 10 centimeter yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Next, hold the yarn tail and thread it through a darning needle. And pass it through one purl. Secure and sew it in place at the end. Then weave in the ends and cut the yarn. One purl is now securely sewn. Attach another purl at the other end. That completes the tie strap assembly. Now let's assemble the bouquet. Choose the iris's flower branch and large fern leaf branch as the main flowers. Place them in the middle. Tidy up the arrangement. Then take the remaining flower branches for decoration. Note that height and position can be adjusted according to personal preference. Once completed, take out the tie strap. Leave about 1/5 centimeter at one end. Then begin wrapping the yarn at a suitable position on the flower branch. Try to wrap the yarn tightly. After leaving 1/5 centimeter of yarn tail at the end, tie both ends together into a bow. This completes the assembly of the tie strap. Finally, adjust the shape of the flower branches according to personal preference. The flower stem at the bottom. If there is any excess length, trim off the extra length appropriately. Then apply a small amount of alcohol glue to secure the end. At this point, this bouquet has been fully explained. If you have any unclear parts during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.